Excelsior, my fellow Marvelers. Now, as you can see, I am a big Avengers fan, and that is why I loved What If Season 2. Now, let me get this clear out of the way. Uh, it's got a lot of fan service and it's got a lot of forced puns and appearances from characters. But in the end, isn't that what you want from a Marvel animated series at least? A lot of characters, a lot of storylines, and finally a little bit of overkill. But you know what? We are marvelers and we say bring it on. All right. Also, another thing I noticed was that there was a lot of usage of 42, which is, of course, the answer to the universal question of life, the universe, and everything. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. But 42 has been used a lot of times in this season especially, and that of course is from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. You can check out my short about it, and you can check out my long form videos about it. You can also check out Project Bibliotherapy, who are huge fans of Douglas Adams and hitchhikers, and of course they got hitched as hitchhikers. You can check out their story on their Instagram and other links. So I will try, and if I can remember, leave their link in the description. Uh, in any case, you can reach out to me in the comments if you are curious about books, if you love reading, if you want to get interested in reading, or if you want to establish your reading game, then Project Bibliotherapy is for you. All right, that pushing my friends' project aside, the best thing about Marvel is that it doesn't take itself seriously at all. And you know what? There are mega doses, like I said, of fan service. There are new stories with old heroes, old stories with new heroes, and the Watcher breaks the fourth wall, but within the story as well. Because Captain Carter outs him, just straight up calls him out and says, "What are you? You're just hanging around doing nothing." And finally, in the end, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but in the end, everything works out well for the main heroine in this season, which is Captain Peggy Carter. So she also manages to defeat Sorcerer Supreme Strange, and that is, of course, a little predictable, but it gets a bit repetitive as well, and it's very simplistic plot lines. But I will say this, that they are meant to be simplistic so that kids, who are the main audiences, I think, for these kind of simplistic animated storylines, they manage to follow along, they manage to get the good versus evil part absolutely correct. And it reminds me, the simplistic storyline thing, that in one of the Native American stories, in fact, the second heroine is a Native American Mohawk, I think, and her name is Kahori, if I remember and pronounce correctly. When she goes to a different planet, anyway, the details don't matter, but they go hunting, large uh, buffalo herd. Okay, and it sort of reminds me of a similar scene in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, not in the movie, in the book, in which they hunt down beasts for their sandwiches on a planet on which the main character, Arthur Dent, is the sandwich maker. And it just reminds me of, how whimsical, how quintessentially British wit plays into Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you haven't read that book, you must read it. If you haven't watched the movie, it's fine. It's got a lot of people before they became world famous, like Martin Freeman, The Hobbit, Sherlock, everything. It's got Sam Rockwell before he became that Oscar-worthy actor, and it's got Zooey Deschanel, New Girl, and of course, I mean, last but not least, it's got everybody's favorite Harry Potter character, Severus Snape. All right, so, well, what can we say? Death becomes everyone, and just like Albert Camus and Nietzsche and Kierkegaard and all those, Immanuel Kant, all these philosophers have said before me, you have to embrace the absurdity of life and love it. And that's what I do. So that brings me back to what if the Infinity Stones, the Infinity Saga, all of it plays to, make it all right for the heroes in the end. And the best part, the best ending scene was that Loki season 2 was tied into What If season 2 because Loki is at the middle of Yggdrasil, the tree at the center of the world, or actually the tree in which the entire universe is in Norse mythology. And Loki, of course, took up the reins and created Yggdrasil at the end of Loki season 2. And that is where the Watcher takes Captain Carter at the end of What If season 2. So, very nicely uh, intertwined to make a pun. And I guess that's it. I liked What If, even if it's not very hardcore, uh, intense storylines. There's some fun storylines, some educational storylines. Like I said, good for kids and really, I will say wholesome entertainment, all right, which is a rarity these days. I think even Echo has been given a TVMA mature audiences rating, so that might not be good for family watching, which is the upcoming miniseries. I'm sure Marvelers will know. And that's it, I guess. I'll call time on this video. Do check out my other Marvel videos. Do check out our travel vlogs. We have been recently to Mumbai, Mahabaleshwar, Bihar, Jharkhand, and of course, we keep roaming around here and there in Noida, which is my hometown. For people who are not in India, if you think I'm speaking in alien languages, I mean, if I'm talking about alien places, do check out my travel vlogs and you will know more about them. Thank you so much for watching and make sure you smash that sub button for Awesomax fun. Share what you think in the comments. Looking forward to much more. Enough said, as Stanley said. Excelsior.